Hello, my name's Alex. A few days ago, I went to a music festival where I caught COVID-19 and I'm now self-isolating for 10 days. Every single day throughout these 10 days, I'm going to be recording a podcast with someone interesting or cool, and I want to find out more about their passions, hobbies, and life. Hopefully, this will stop me from going insane. We'll find out together. Welcome to the RONA CHATS. Enjoy. Alright, episode 1. I am joined by none other than Leon Parsons. Leon is a drumming legend of St Albans who's in about 50,000 different bands, currently living in Cheltenham. Am I right?
Technically, now I've only recently moved back to St Albans.
Oh, he's back in St Albans,
living in Cheltenham
but studied in Cheltenham.
That's it.
There we go. So yeah, I've known Leon for too long, and and yeah, Leon, how is life? How are you finding the end of the world?
Yeah, it really is the end of the world, isn't it?
It feels like it, doesn't it?
It's got on quite a bit. It's a bit of a shocker, with the whole fact that we had a heat wave last week, and now people were swimming in the underground.
Yeah, it's a strange one. It's a strange one. But you've been staying sane?
Well, I never was sane to begin with, so it's a hard point of reference. But however, I've been sane enough to be able to let people know that I'm insane.
Okay, that's a great sign. That's a great sign.
You know, as long as you convince someone that you're as crazy as them, and then that way, no one feels crazy.
I like your thinking. I like your thinking. Oh man. So I guess with everything reopening now, live music is back, which which is terrifying as well. And I suppose live music being back is exactly the reason why I'm here now. Went to Latitude, got COVID, but have you got anything booked? Are you playing any gigs or attending anything? Are you?
Oh, so I recently, so last week I did 3 shows, one in Bristol, one in Tottenham, and one in Birmingham with my band Kiski, who are like a ska slash reggae slash jazz punk outfit.
Okay.
Good fun, and they were good guys, and it was organised by this guy Tim, who's one of the weirdest people I've ever met.
Nice.
He has wacky acoustic songs, and he also has the most insane stories on the planet. It's like every single show we played these 3 shows with him, and every time he had a completely surreal story. Like there was one he was telling us where he was going down a skateboard down the Swiss Alps with his daughter, his 3-year-old daughter. He was like holding her and almost got arrested for it.
Right.
There was another one where he got kidnapped by the Yakuza and had to grow them a rice paddy and got them a really bad yield because they believed that he was a farmer when he's actually studied environmental economics and not environmental conservation.
I see. You do tend to meet very interesting people in the world of music.
Really do. It's great.
It is. Yeah, for sure. Oh man. So how long have you been playing with the band?
Yeah. So I started with these guys in March, but we've been in other bands together at different points. So it's just 3 of us. So there's myself, there's Ruben, and then there's Max. And I met them in like the whole like Cheltenham. There's a massive Cheltenham busking scene.
Okay.
That many of us all met each other and all got quite incestuous with bands and music, because we were like, no, as long as someone plays something, then anyone can play anything. And,
yeah, sure. Yeah.
That attitude kind of carried through. And so the current band that we've decided we were going to be is this 3-piece. And so we're playing Lakefest on the 13th, I want to say, of August, which is fun. Quite excited for that. Plus, I get to see Tom Jones, which is hilarious.
Oh, brilliant. That's quite cool.
Yeah, I think he's one of the headliners, which is hilarious. I was, what's it called? Yeah, Lake Fest is the name of the festival. It's I think it's kind of up near like the Cotswolds and stuff like that, kind of in that
Nice.
area. I mean, with a lake. It's in Hereford. Yeah.
Sweet, yeah, yeah. That's like on the border of Wales, I think.
Yeah.
Nice, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
C6 Steve's playing as well.
oh, he's great live. Could highly recommend. Highly recommend. Yeah.
Proper
But
deep.
you've been drumming for like in many different bands for donkeys now. Like, because I remember going to the Horn, and there was a good like 25% chance that whoever was playing, you'd be behind the drums. Am I wrong?
Uh,
Am I wrong?
I've been known
Yeah.
to do such things.
Well, so I guess let's go right back to the core. What started you drumming? Because that's something I've never asked you, and something I've always been curious about.
That's a good question. So I was always like a massive like Foo Fighters fan when I was younger.
Yeah.
And but I didn't know that he played drums until I kind of went back. And so I found out years later, like, so when I was a child, like an actual child, like 11, I found I like was really into like Foo Fighters. I was like, this guy is like Dave Grohl's a rock god. I mean, he's good, but I don't know. He's fantastic still, but it's not. It's different now than it was, you know. And then it was when I saw him play in that Queens of the Stone Age song "No One Knows." I saw the music video for that, and I saw him just like shred on the drums. I lost my mind. I went back and saw like Nirvana do all their shows, and I was like, "Whoa, that's Dave Grohl! Like he did all this before he. Whoa, this is way cooler."
Nice.
And then one of my mates, Abby Smell, who I don't think she plays drums anymore, but I think she plays bass.
Yeah, she's bass now.
Bass now, yeah. Rhythm still though, just we're all about it.
Amen.
And she taught me my first drum beat.
Really?
Yeah. But she's right-handed and I'm left-handed. Yeah, it was weird because I didn't have any frame of reference for playing. And so she taught me my first drum beat right-handed. And so I never changed it because I just didn't know that there was a left-handed drumming and a right-handed drumming being any form of different.
Yeah, okay.
So like what would happen is I'd go and like go to the drums or whatever, and then it was only like 3 years later when I was like 16 and I'd been playing for a bit longer and I was playing in my room a lot. When I found out one of my neighbors was a drummer, and he was a left-handed drummer as well, and I was like, wow, left-handed is really crazy. And he used to play different to me, and I couldn't figure out why. But so how I play is I play like cross arms.
Yeah.
Like as a right-handed drummers would. But he plays with his arms open, and I still struggle to play open. I can't do it anywhere near as well as I can do like right-handed cross-stick drumming.
Interesting. Okay.
It's good because it means that I don't have to like swap all my gear with everyone all the time.
I suppose, yeah.
Saves on kit shares and stuff like that.
Interesting. Yeah. But do you find like that style of drumming influences your writing and I suppose from that you're playing?
Oh, massively, yeah. Like I find a lot of drummers like I can do quite a lot with my left hand in terms of like the accents and stuff like that on snare and stuff like that. I find that quite easy. It comes to me quite well. I also find that I'm sometimes like weirdly heavy on my right because I'm not used to. Like I still play on it quite well because I've been doing it for years, but I do find that there's subtle differences in like the fact that I'm left-handed playing a right-handed kit to someone who's right-handed playing a right-handed kit, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's cool. Yeah, man. So like, then kind of moving over, like, so as you said, you know, you started doing the gigs at like the Horn or Pioneer or the Factory, God knows where. How do you like
Factory? Oh,
yeah,
my
man.
heart. Heart goes
Well,
out to the factory, man. That place
yeah.
rocked. That was my
Oh,
first gig there.
really? Was it?
Yeah,
So
I
like,
wasn't even on drums.
really? Oh, you were just a punter.
I was singing
Oh,
vocals in
really?
this pop punk metalcore band, and it was so bad that we started and ended the band that day. We used to practice at XC, and I always wanted to play drums, but Tom, uh, Tom in high regard, Tom bassist
Oh,
Tom
Tom Townsend.
Tom Townsend. That's it. Yeah, Tom Townsend was on the drums at the
Yeah, yeah.
time, and I always wanted to play because I was already playing drums, but I was too nervous to be like, "Can I play drums?" And so I had to sing, and I was badly out of tune, covering neck deep songs, and I forgot the words to "Busted" on stage. It was really like a calamity. It was like the worst thing ever. It was really funny now in retrospect because it's like the factory and it's being a teenager. But yeah, the first gig I ever played, I was singing for. Thank God I
Amazing.
don't have to do that again.
Okay, cool. So, like, from like the factory, because I found that in the St Albans industry, and that whole kind of music sphere, which was really special, like 5 years ago, that it was so easy to form connections. It was like nothing else. It was everyone wanted to know everyone. Everybody wanted to work with everybody. I suppose was it kind of like stuff like that you also found, much like me, helped you to like start working with others.
Oh, hugely, hugely. I mean, I remember there was like a night and day difference from before I went to the Pioneer and would meet people, and after I was like very much a Pioneer person. Like, especially I say the Pioneer. I bring up the Pioneer a lot because like that was before the Horn for me, and I think for you as well. Like,
Yeah, I think for most
um,
people.
yeah, because that was where gigs used to start. We'd see bands like Blue Tongue Skinks. I remember seeing their last show and going absolutely mental.
Yeah, it was something really special because I mean, you had 500 people come down for a band that they had never really heard of at all. They knew the name, but they couldn't tell you a single song, but they didn't care because they just wanted to be there. That like there was something so magical about what was it like 2015, 2014, that time. Oh man, it was so special because yeah, 500 people like would come down and they would see 17-year-olds on stage playing songs they'd never heard of. Like it's incredible, and it what I liked about it was it felt so natural. It wasn't done through another company. It wasn't done through, like, for example, Juicebox Live, who work at the Horn. It was Connor Wilson and his mates being like, let's put on some gigs. That's what it was. And something amazing about that. I love it.
It's that pure energy. Like
Yeah.
it's that it's just it's what true grassroots music is. Like I almost feel like Juicebox, like I know it's a promotion company, but it almost acts like a label. Like they'll just put the bands that play there, me being in a few that have been part of like that whole Juicebox crew. um it's like it's almost slowly becoming more niche. Not to say that they still don't have loads of variety. There's loads of fantastic bands that come through there all the time. All the time. You can always go on the Horn and there's at least two bands on each bill that are going to be amazing.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, it was also when it was like in the Pioneer and we was just like you just cobble together like whoever is there. Like, oh, there's like five random acts that we don't really know what they sound like, but if they said they can bring all their like 40 mates with them, and there's five bands with
Exactly.
40 mates, that's like what, 300 people eventually. Like, yeah, crazy.
Yeah. It really was. Yeah. I do miss those days. There was something so special. Because, I mean, that's how I met you. I think I met you at the factory, I think. Um, and then through but yeah, basically like the way I got into the work I'm doing now, and like in fact like the path I got when I got to go to uni was all through like local St Albans music, local St Albans grassroots music. um yeah, it felt like one heck of a community, because also that it wasn't just musicians, it was just people that liked to go to gigs. It wasn't a case where I find a lot what tends to be left over from powerful grassroots music ventures is that you have the hype, and then afterwards it's just the musicians because everyone goes their separate ways. Whereas what happened there was that you had diehard people that were just like, I want to go out, I want to dance, I don't care about anything, and that made up the 95% of people that were there, and that's something that you don't often get. It was people that didn't really care about much; they just knew that they loved it. Does that make sense?
Massively. It's I think it's kind of being echoed in some, like, in festival culture, like, in a way of like,
Yeah,
you don't, a lot of the time you're not going really for the bands, you know. If it's a festival you like, you know you're going to see someone you absolutely love there, and that's great. But you know, what you're really there for is the whole like experience of being in this space where you can just kind of let go of yourself and really like drop your guard, and open yourself up to like really cool just feelings. And I don't know, it's so like impulsive.
yeah,
I think that's what you'd get a lot from especially those old Pioneer gigs as well. They had that kind of same feeling of like, just like, people were going out there to have fun. It didn't matter about who was in what band, or who was playing. It was just like, this is our social spot, and we like to, and here you also get to dance to everything. Great.
yeah, yeah. It really was amazing. Damn, I get too nostalgic about those days. I definitely do. Like I look back on them, I'm like, oh, wasn't that something? I look back on it way too much, but it's great fun. And as you know, the work I'm doing now, hopefully we're going to try and bring that back for the next generation to at least have that kind of experience back at like
Exactly.
Pioneer, which will be great.
Exactly. I mean,
Yeah,
like what it was like Shikari did it 10 years, well, like 5 years before we did, or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, about 7 or 8. Yeah,
Yeah. Basically. And so we came along, and so now it's gonna be like, what?
we need a
We're
third wave.
we're almost on that point. We're what, 5 years from when that was the case.
Yeah,
So 7, 8 years. That's 2 more years time. Hopefully, if things stay open, and we just start like, just not thinking about like any kind of scene or anything like that, and just put on whatever people like, and don't. I think that's the problem with Juicebox. They think about it too much. But I
yeah.
don't know, whatever. It's like, if you just like, yeah, you can go back to that kind of ethos of just like, let's just put on things that are fun.
Yeah, nah, for sure, for sure. Oh well, hopefully we'll see it. Hopefully we'll see it. Yeah. So, I guess moving on past that, we as did everyone. We all left St Albans to go and embark on our careers, our lives, our God knows what.
Our
Um,
mortgages.
yeah, yeah. And you ended up studying in Chelmsford.
At Cheltenham, yeah.
Cheltenham. It's so difficult. Oh yeah, no, my flatmate lives in
No, don't worry,
Chelmsford.
you're not
And
alone. My sister, I studied there for 3 years, and the whole time my sister thought I was studying in Chichester.
I was close enough then. But yeah, so here's my question. Did you find the connections you made at uni the same kind of like that same bond and power as the connections you made in the St Albans grassroots music scene?
Oh,
How did you find those that they differed? Because I definitely noticed something, but I'd like to get your experience.
yeah, that's cool. I like that. So I feel like, I'm trying to think of how I met most of the people. I think because of the fact that when I was in Cheltenham, it was already like a given that I was going to meet musicians because of the course I studied, for sure. Whilst with St Albans, I just met interesting people just by proxy of suddenly becoming interesting, um, at least to myself. And then, but also at the same time, when I was in St Albans, there was like 2, 3 years before I went to uni. Like, I was really, pushing the music and everything. You just, if you're doing something for long enough that you enjoy, people will gravitate towards it, and you'll meet people who have like-minded passions as you. But I mean, that's that's just a general thing for people. But in St Albans, it was very much more of I don't know. I used to go into the town centre, and just wait. And I'd literally just sit there and wait. And
I did the same. Yeah.
within the hour, I'd see like loads of interesting people. I remember I used to go up to people who had cool shirts, and I'd just high five them because I was like, you're obviously really cool, so here's a high five. And then I'd end up being mates with them, and then through them I'd meet other mates and such like that.
Yeah.
And then I went to Cheltenham, and it was kind of one of these things of I was already a musician, so that in my head I was like, all right, so I'm gonna bond with three people just through the music mostly, because that's what I'm here to do. And I don't know, I could have definitely went a different way about it, but I still met some fantastic people.
Yeah.
I was just of a different type of, just a slightly different medium. Like a lot of people I met there, there's a few differences between Cheltenham and St Albans. One of the main differences is Cheltenham, they everyone's like everyone knows about nature.
Okay.
Like St Albans is close to London, whilst Cheltenham is close to the Cotswolds, and that's like the stark difference. That's the frame of which everything kind of moves in. So when in St Albans you can just go to a gig in London and have a crazy old time, and then come back and go to pub or do something else interesting, just, as it goes. But with Cheltenham, it was like I remember I have really strange days. Like I remember this one day where I ended up driving with a few mates to Stroud, and ended up sitting in this hippie commune with like an art gallery that was like an abandoned warehouse.
I've got a few mates. In fact, the mates I went to Latitude with.
You met Helen Rogers.
Helen, Kitty, Oscar. They're all from Stroud. So yeah, I've heard it's quite a hippie town. They believe in herbal medicine, not COVID vaccines.
Oh yeah,
so I'm told.
Yeah. Oh man, great. I remember meeting a guy who was doing a protest for he was just trying to tell me about how much he hates 5G and all that kind of thing. And I was like, this is a lot, man. I was like, I get that. I get it in a way, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, but there's bad signal.
Oh yeah, some fucking crazies out there. Nah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, I like that. So now that whole uni experience is over and you're freed, doing adulting. What's next for Leon? What you get up to
on the horizons?
Yeah. You got your
So-
festivals. You got a couple of gigs. You got all of that. But like, what projects you getting? What you sinking your teeth into?
I've been getting a lot more into my poetry again, which is nice. I think it's slowly been building over the years. Like I remember I started to write it when I was just before I came to uni. And then as soon as I got to uni, I was like had this moment of like this huge break from like knowing people, if that makes sense. Like in St Albans, I kind of know like a load of people. And so it wasn't. I was always like, my thing would be to go out and see someone, and I'd know them, and we'd go out and have like a day or whatever. Whilst when I was first in Cheltenham, when I first moved there, I didn't really know anyone, and so it was like that. It was like the first time where I'd ever kind of been actually like thrown myself in this complete position where I literally had to it was on me if I was going to meet people or not. And at first I decided I didn't want to for a little bit because I was like, no, I need like a minute, like a break. And so I started writing poetry, and I've just been slowly building it. And obviously lockdown and all that kind of stuff, I was like, okay, well, I haven't written anything in like a few months or whatever because I've been literally having the time of my life for 2 years or whatever. And then these 2 years came, and I was like, wow, I'm gonna write a load of poems. So I've just been doing that, and then still drumming, obviously. There's this project I'm in called Hypermobile with Bill, who I used to play with Zen in, and
Yeah.
also played in this band Jerry with him, and Ian, who also was in Zen. Now he's in Vipera, and he's also doing fantastic with his art. Like he recently did the High Regard video.
I can see behind you.
Yeah, he's oh, I'll just lift that up. Yeah, he's got a couple. He likes, because I send him random pictures that I just think are cool pictures, and he's like, I can paint that. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I guess so.
No, he's a talented little bastard.
He is. He really
Yeah.
is. I get jealous. Like I can't even play chess with the guy. He's
Oh,
like,
mate.
check me.
I've been attempting, like, my flatmate's boyfriend. I've been challenging him to a lot of chess and losing very, very
I know
badly.
you played chess, dude. I want chess.com. We'll have to have a game.
Yeah,
sometime.
absolutely. He will. Yeah. You're going down. You're going down. Trust.
Probably will. I'm awful at chess.
Oh, I doubt that very much. I'm sure you're
I'm
wonderful.
like, I don't know, knight to E, whatever.
Righto. So I want to know what you're listening to. What tunes are going in your ears? What albums are going up your nose? Tell me.
Nice. All right, so today was nice because I was going into Shoreditch today, so I had a lot of time on the train, which is great. I love that. I
lovely.
love traveling because you can just blitz through loads of music. And so what was I listening to recently? There was one album that I listened to recently that was so good. I mean, also I've just been like plowing the Harry Nilsson because that man freaking rocks, man. If you haven't listened to much Harry Nilsson, listen to all of him, and then you'll understand how. Put it this way, so in like the 60s, where like the Beatles were like, all right, we're obviously the Beatles were super famous, and the interviews were like, all right, so who should we watch? Who's like your favorite act? And all of them just went Nilsson. That was it. They didn't even say anything. Nilsson. And he's done an album with Lennon. He's got his own. Oh, he's so good. I can't talk about him enough, really. But if it isn't him, also, I recently saw Feet play at Dalston. I think it was in Dalston.
Cool.
This band Feet. Oh my god, fantastic! You should check them out. They're really great. They recently released a new single, and I think they've got a new EP about to release. But also one hell of a live show, man. They rock. They rock so hard. Gretchen Lawrence. Gretchen Lawrence is really cool. She's like she's so wacky. She's got really, and she's like production, like electronic kind of style. But the choices she makes with her editing, I'll send you some of them because it's really interesting.
Yeah, man.
And she's got like no on her Spotify. She's getting like no listens compared to what all of her things are under 1,000.
Okay.
But Gretchen Lawrence, so good. I'm just gonna flash that in there. It's all gonna be in reverse. I don't know why I'm showing you.
No, it's the right way around. Yeah, man. There we go.
Gretchen Lawrence, if you can,
Gotcha.
she rocks, man. She rocks. Oh, so much. Oh, what else I listen to? So one of my mates, I don't really know how. I think we went to the same uni, but I don't think I actually met her at the uni. And then one day she messaged me saying that she's like releasing some music, and I was like, yeah, cool. I'll check it out. I like listening to new music. She recently released this song to do with like gay pride called Rainbow Flag, and it's actually really good. I was really surprised and actually how good it's going to be because sometimes you just get sent music from people you don't really know, and you're like, okay, it's gamble. It's like Russian roulette.
Yeah.
And this song was really good. It was like kind of Madonna, like early Madonna vibe. It was like, yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Great hook. It goes into like she loves her key changes. I went through a few of her songs, and each one has like a kind of an interesting little like step up or step down but goes up kind of thing.
Cool.
Liam Kazar as well. I'm sorry, I'm just blitzing them off
Just
now.
listing them off.
I got well excited, man. Liam Kazar, he's so great. He's kind of like indie rock, but like if you get like Bowie vibes, and you also get like Talking Heads vibes, but
those
it's also kind of like
those are two very good vibes.
if Bowie and what's his name if Bowie and Talking Heads were just sitting in a cafe, like, and they were talking about tunes, they probably get close to how Liam Kazar sounds like, because he's just got a cool vibe about him. Shoes Too Tight. It's such a great guitar line in it.
Yeah.
But a lot of guitar music, although there's still lots of great production music that's been out there.
Yeah,
I love
I definitely
Pilot's
feel
new
like
album.
I definitely feel like you specifically don't. I feel like definitely to an extent me as well don't. So I listen to one kind of music because I know that one day you're listening to blues, the next day you're listening to punk, the next day you're listening to hyperpop. Like, because I can see you on Spotify. Yeah, I see your listening history. Like it pops up. Leon's listening to X, or Leon's listening to Y. Leon's listening to Z. I'm like, okay, wow, cool. But no, that's something I do like about Spotify is that I can kind of stalk people's listening habits, or at least just see what they're listening to in real time.
Massively.
Yeah, but no, man, that's cool. That's cool. So I'm gonna finish on who are like your big guys, your go to like fucking love these guys, and I will never stop listening to these guys
Oh
ever.
man, bands that
The Foos
artists
will be
that do no
one.
wrong, almost.
Yeah.
Who do I keep going to? Bull. I had to think. I thought, and I was like, oh yeah, wait, there's that really great band that I love. Oh yeah, it's Bull. Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if you have heard Bull or not.
I know the name, and I've definitely heard some tunes, but
But
alas,
recently,
could not recall.
oh, that's
Well,
all right. Yeah, so they have a weird journey because they're almost completely unknown for most of the like for like 5-6 years of like their time as a band, and then literally the day before the first lockdown, they got signed to EMI, and
mental.
they're the first band from York to get signed to EMI since the 90s. And they're just so happy, but like they're so smart with how they write music, and how they go about it is just like they just got such a good like ethos and vibe. They're oh they're just the best band ever. They can do no wrong for me. And also live, like they're way more talented than they originally think they're gonna be. You're like, oh yeah, they're cool. They're like a good band and they have some great songs. But like then you see them live and you're like, oh, they're like the best band ever. All right.
I found that with TTNG, formerly known as This Town Needs Guns, where I had no idea. I booked tickets to see them live, and I had no idea what they looked like. I had no idea how many members were in the band, and that they're math rock. They write this very kind of complex, intricate time signature, jabble, you know, songs about being alone. And I was like, oh god, in my head there are about 6 or 7 people in the band because of how intricate and how crazy all these lines are. Nope, there's three. There's 3 people, and seeing them live, I was like, Jesus Christ, they're working hard. Like in my head, I was like, there's got to be 2 drummers. There's got to be like a few guitarists, definitely a bassist. The vocalist has to be by himself because no way could you play guitar and sing at the same time with with that kind of shit going on. Yeah,
TTNG.
yeah, they're great. They're kind of, I definitely have seasonal phases of music. So like they kind of come under autumn. So like there's a few like I tend to listen to a lot of math rock in autumn. So like American football, TTNG. I'll also get into kind of like a lot of kind of grunge, like Basement. Uh,
Basement
and
release. Oh wait, no, Pavement released a new live album. Yeah, Basement rock though.
Basement are great. They like consistently. They are just fantastic.
Killer hooks. They always have a great earwig in their albums. They
Yeah,
just got great ears for it.
yeah. It's like they were writing pop music and then just switched to making these dirty ass fucking hooks. It just gets in your head.
Yeah.
It's always so catchy, and I really like that about
Yeah.
them. And then another big autumn band that always comes around in the autumn is Redwood. I listen to them all the time in autumn.
Redwood.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
They just released a new
Forgot about
album.
Redwood. They rock though.
Yeah, I think one Alex, their singer's coming on the podcast in a few days, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, they released an album last year. It's fantastic, so could highly recommend. Like genuinely fantastic music. So
Right on.
yeah, man.
Redwood it is.
Yeah. Well, I will finish on a question, which is where do you see the end of the world going in a short paragraph? What's going to happen? Where do you see yourself in a year? Where do you still see human beings on planet Earth in 365 days time?
So first of all, I probably would have joined some sort of a hybrid militia / commune. I would have eaten my first cooked rat. And it would have been alright actually, because I know how to season things. But thank God, I would have learned to swim because I would have needed it to get through the underground.
Okay.
And and also, there's, Elon Musk would have finally been like, "There's no tax on Mars. Can you believe it? There's no tax on Mars. I'm there now." And the others would keep doing their dick measuring contest, and then someone's dick will fall off, and someone will slip, and a planet will explode into fiery nothingness. But
So
that might be the year after.
That's your prediction of the future.
That might be That might be the year after, though.
Okay. Okay. So there's an asterisk. Like, this could be 2021, 2022. It could be 23.
I mean, they did the last 2 years blended together, so I don't see why the other two can't blend together.
Yeah. Well, we shall see. Yeah. Well, I hope we survive. Who knows? And I hope we can meet in flesh again one day with a pint.
Yeah, and a pint and a fat high five.
There you go. Exactly. I'll make sure I'm clear of COVID first. But yeah, no, thank you very, very much for coming and having a chat. It's a nice little project. This helps me to kind of stay sane, reconnect with people I know, talk to people I don't. So yeah, if you're still watching, stay tuned for tomorrow, where we have got Omar Suleiman, who is a photographer, songwriter, very dear friend of mine. You can look forward to that. So thank you, Leon, for coming along. Of course, check out all of Leon's bands, such as Zen. Then there's Disky, Jerry, Hypermobile.
That's it for now.
That's it for now. There'll probably be a fifth one by tomorrow, so I'll have to update you on that. But yeah, thank you very much for coming, guys. This has been, what's this podcast called? I made it today. This has been the RONA Chats. So thank you for tuning in.